For that, we're counting you in, so please don't hang up. But let's take a look at some of the other great values that are coming your way. By the way, thank you so much for being here. You are looking at our 2020 NGC Proof 70 Silver Eagle dollar coin that we get to share with you now.
Well, this is my first look at the proof.
I saw that.
This was flown in.
Ooh.
Let me,
you did the old glasses.
I'm nearsighted, okay, so I need to lift the glasses to see things. So this right here, I want you to look at. So you are now seeing, literally 5 seconds after I saw the 2020 Proof Eagle. So we talk about these coins, this is $199 and so on and so forth. This actual coin that you see here in front of me, this coin cost about $2,000. Because we had to buy it, okay? We had to fly it, okay?
Yeah,
we put someone on a plane, buy it, fly it, deliver it here, and all of a sudden, before you know it, just for the show tonight, so that I can show you a 2020 Proof American Silver Eagle for the very first time, that anybody can see it anywhere out there in the marketplace. I've got it in NGC Proof 70 that you're going to see right here, $199.95. I debuted this coin with the pre-sale coin, the 20, I think it was a 2017 or something that we had in there. I debuted this last week. I think we sold about 700 or 800 pieces. That's half of what I have. Now I have a physical sample, as you can see right here. There's your 2020 Proof. Pretty? And that's the Proof coin. So once again, so let's go back for those of you perhaps that are just tuning in, so that I can talk about the American. And I know there's a lot of Silver Eagles in this show. Look, we had some peace dollars, we had some beautiful mint sets, I had all that. But let's face it, the star of the show, and for the foreseeable future, the star of the numismatic year is the American Silver Eagle. There's absolutely, positively no doubt about that, period. The United States government, they had a great 2019. I just showed you the Apollo 2-coin set that sold out. We had the 5-ounce Apollo coin. We had all the incredibly cool Apollo stuff that was out there. We had the 19S American Enhanced Reverse Proof Silver Eagle. There was a $70 coin. It went from $70 to $7,000 in 30 days, okay? That was 2019. So there were a lot of stars in 2019. The United States Mint decided we are not going to be upstaged in 2020. By the way, here's how, here's why. We are going to change. Oh, we only have 500 left now out of the 1,500 plus or whatever that we had. These are going incredibly, incredibly quickly. So the United States Mint says, here's what we're going to do, folks. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to up the ante. We are going to change the design of the American Silver Eagle for the first time in history. And I talk about this, I just said it, once in a lifetime. And it's kind of a thing that you say. But in this instance, it's quite literal. So I've been doing this, I've been selling American Silver Eagles on television since the 1980s, okay? So I've been doing this a long time. Every single Silver Eagle that I have sold from a design standpoint has looked exactly like this. All the Proof coins look like this. All the Mint State coins look like the Mint State coins. This has been the design. The Adolph A. Weinman design on the obverse, that was the Walking Liberty $half that first debuted in 1917. The John Mercanti reverse of the heraldic American Eagle has been on the reverse every single coin since 1986. That is now changing for the very first time in my lifetime, and the very last time, certainly in my professional lifetime, because by law, they can't change it again for 25 years. So, like I said, as much as I would like to, I don't suspect I'll be here 25 years from now selling coins. I mean, that may well be a bridge too far. So from a literal once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, that's what I'm talking about. Not only a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you, but for me to even present this, to show you that this is the end of an era. This is an absolute legacy. We just sold the first and the last of the American Silver Eagles. We had 103 of them for $500 that sold out in 5 minutes. I have seen a lot of things in numismatics in the course of my professional career and here, the decades I've been here at HSN. I have never seen a coin embraced like the American Silver Eagle of 2020. The Mint State coin, of course, we've sold thousands, and I mean, you know, we're struggling to try to get those coins so we can get you absolutely perfect coins. The proof coin, even more difficult. And then it was made even more difficult, and I mentioned it, I alluded to it earlier. When we priced this coin, when we determined our quantity availability, we did so based on the Mint's old pricing.
Yes.
We put this in. Once I put a coin into the system, we are loath to change the price, unless we can put it on sale. Yeah. I tend not to raise the price. If I got it, in essence, at the old price, I'd let you get it at the old price. Well, I'm getting, you have the old price, but I didn't get the old price. The United States Mint on proof American Silver Eagles raised their price to the public, and we're the public, 20%. It's an unprecedented increase in the price of the American Silver Eagle from the United States Mint. They have had increases that were bigger, but it was based on the price of silver. The price of silver is basically, in essence, when we bought it, was flat from last year. It's up a little bit. It would account for a 3 or 4, maybe 5% increase, but not 20%. And it seems that they are doing this across the board. So they understand that they are in an absolute special year of American numismatics, and they are pricing everything accordingly. So here we have the 2020 West Point Minted Proof Silver Eagle. Now, they have announced that this year they are also going to do the San Francisco Proof Eagle again this year. That means that this will be a transition coin and will be a relatively low mintage, as they will split the mintage between West Point Mint and San Francisco Mint, which is going to be released later in the year. So even though the popularity of this coin is bigger than any other regular proof Silver Eagle that the United States government has ever done, it is going to be one of the lower mintages as well. I think you'll see lots of indications that this coin during the course of the year will go in and out of availability. Because the United States Mint, they make these coins to order, in essence. So they made 50,000 coins. Well, they sold out instantly. Well, they don't get right to it. They're in the middle of making proof sets. They're in the middle of making basketball coins. They're in the middle of making all of these other cool coins that are out there. And so it's just not available out there in the marketplace. And you can see this right there. There's that 2020, that special year, the last full year of issue that you're going to have. Like I said, we flew this coin in here just so that you could see a 2020 Proof American Silver Eagle. You're one of the first people, I think, people nationwide on television to be able to see a 2020 Proof American Silver Eagle, certified NGC, certified absolutely, positively, perfectly. We have got the coin. We have got it right here. You need to buy it. It is a transition coin. It's a legacy coin. It's a coin that absolutely, positively must be placed into every single solitary collection.
Well, your item number is 702842. We're inviting you to use our FlexPay. We immediately ship it to you, and of course you get to pay over time, and you can use any major credit card, debit card, or PayPal, and it's 0% interest. I would imagine, you know, in the course of the show, I know that you mentioned we've had a number of Silver Eagles. They've all been extraordinarily popular, but the proof Silver Eagles especially are definitely must-haves. So we are excited. You can see what's remaining, and we count those down. And I just want to reiterate for you that the number that you see on your screen doesn't reflect the number of people that are calling in.
Right.
Oftentimes we have several hundred people that are calling in. This coin is definitely in high demand. I want to give you a chance to be able to get it.
Yeah, because I think we started today with about 800 of these, something like that. What was left? And that was less than half of the quantity that we started with last week.
Well, just the set that we just had, that one had, what, 400 in the 5 minutes, and we sold that one completely out.
It was completely and totally gone.
And in this one, we only have about 400.
Well, we have several things here. So we had the Annex coin, okay, the first day of issue at $199 that we had. We sold 2,700 of those. I don't have 2,700 of these, okay? We barely have like 1,500 of these, and of that, we have about 400 of them is all that remain out of that entire thing. And the big reason behind that is, like I said, the demand early on the American Silver Eagle, as people are starting to, and you talked about this earlier, people don't quite get it's not widely known that they're changing the design of the American Silver Eagle. They had a little mint symposium. They invited about the 15 or 20 biggest coin dealers in the United States there. Of course, we had a seat at the table. We had several seats at the table, as a matter of fact, out of that. And that's when they announced that they're changing the design of the Eagle. Now, they then released that to the public shortly thereafter. So it's been out there, but in all honesty, it's been out there in kind of nerdy little numismatic news. It's not exactly made the morning shows at this point. Now it will, and when it does, and all of a sudden this becomes part of popular culture, now it's, I hate to use a technical numismatic term, but it's Katie bar the door, okay? I mean, because I've seen it before, because you have to understand, these are manufactured collectibles by the United States government. They are not unlimited.
That's a very good
in any way, shape, or form. And the mint plods is the best way to put it. So it's not like all of a sudden they turn on the presses and kick out 50,000 of them. Okay, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now, maybe they'll make another 30,000 or 40,000 or 50,000. Who knows? If they feel like it, who knows what they're going to do? They might say, that's it, we're going to wait and just do the S-minute coin, and this is all the West Point minute coins that we're going to do. I have no idea what goes on. They don't consult us. They call us together for symposiums, which is basically they tell us what they're going to do, and we say thank you very much, is ultimately what it comes down to. So critically important. So last year of issue, full year of issue of the heraldic design American Silver Eagle. So in 2021, complete and total redesign of the reverse. There's going to be a slight redesign of the obverse, adding some anti-counterfeiting technology. Because counterfeiting of American Eagles has really taken off because they're so popular. That's out there. The reverse of the coin, and people say, so what's it going to look like? And I said, I really would like to know, but they're not telling anybody. They said in-house they have about 6 or 7 designs right now. They're going to go out there and discuss this with some private artists. They may put it out into a competition. We don't know that yet because they're not going to release that until very, very, very late this year. I have no idea what they're doing in 2021. All we know is they're changing the design in 2021. Ooh, that is the only thing I 100% know for sure.
Okay. Stay on the phone lines or go to our website, hsn.com, if you're going to order this coin. We have about 364, and of course that number is kind of dwindling right before your eyes. If you'd like to have it, don't miss it. Use that FlexPay. 702-842 is the item number. Congratulations, and thank you so much for your phone call.